Back to Motion RC. Today we are going to be unboxing the Black Horse Corsair. Oh, this is the wrong box. Hang on one second. The Black Horse Corsair. This thing is going to be awesome. Can't wait. You've seen us doing the Black Horse P47 and the Zero here on the channel, and now we're going to be checking out the Corsair. It comes in this gigantic box, so be ready for that when it comes in. I was like, trying to get it in the house. It was kind of funny. A lot of you have been wanting to see us do a big gas motor on one of our Black Horses, so I'm going to be setting this one up with our Admiral 60cc gasoline engine, which we'll take a look at a little later in the show. So for now, what we've got on ahead and done is pre-recorded the unboxing just because this is so big and so cumbersome. We're going to play this little bit of us getting all the pieces and parts out of the box, and then we're going to meet back up with you live momentarily. Roll that tape, Lori. Hey, so today we're going to be unboxing this massive box. This is the Black Horse Corsair in all of its glory. So, without further ado, let's get down on the floor and let's start getting this dust cover off the top of the box. Once you're inside the box, you're going to see that it is individually packaged in a bunch of different boxes. We're going to go on and pull those out right now. As you can see, the Corsair comes out of the box in 6 total boxes on the inside. This is all individually wrapped, so everything gets there safely to you. Now we're going to slowly go through each individual box and take a look at the parts inside. Alright, so the first box you're going to come up on is the large box that the fuselage is going to come in for your Corsair. As you can see here on the screen, it is well packaged in bubble wrap and then has an outside layer of plastic over it. Take your time cutting this apart and unwrap it very slowly to make sure you don't poke any holes. You will see that on one side of the fuselage, the spars and the control horn rods for the fuselage are actually taped to the side of the fuselage. So make sure you take those off, take your time. Once again, try not to hit anything with your razor knife as you're unboxing. As we get into the model, it is looking absolutely beautiful. It's this printed covering that we've come to love on a bunch of our Black Horse models that we've been doing here. And the overall finish is absolutely spectacular, as we expected. And this is my first time seeing, along with you guys, one of our Black Horse models that has this new carbon fiber inlaid all through the airplane. You can see how this one's not bare balsa anymore. It's balsa that has this type of carbon weaving installed over the whole airplane to really stiffen up the airframe. It's really an amazing feat how this is done. The airplane does come with a battery hatch pre-built in up at the front, large area. The airplane also comes with a fully detailed cockpit. All around inside there, it's already pre-painted. You have your gauge and instrument clusters installed. They look really, really high quality in this airplane. For an ARF right out of the box, this is simply stunning. All right, so we're gonna start off with this next box, and inside of it, you're going to find the elevator. Very well packaged, once again, like all the other components you've seen. Take your time getting this out and unwrapping it. But the finish on the elevator looks absolutely fantastic. As you can see, the printed covering has weathering details all over it. Next thing to come out of the box is going to be the rudder. Your rudder comes out pre-hinged and ready to go right onto the fuselage. You can see that it's got that really pretty lighter blue color to the rudder that matches on the fuselage. And now the thing that makes a Corsair, it's onto these big, beautiful gull wings. You can see they are wrapped up very securely inside of this box. Once again, take your time getting them out. I found it easier just to rip the end down where it would have joined into the fuselage and then slide that cover off the end of the wings. They are all pre-slotted for you. These use a Dupro style of hinge that's going to glue in with epoxy. But I do like that they come pre-drilled all for you. All that hard work's already done. We just got to get that installed into the airplane. Last part in the box, there's another box. And we're gonna get into that in just a second, but we gotta get that box untaped and out. All right, so now we're gonna get down into this box. This is the one that came in there with the wings. This is gonna be all your components for, like this one is your battery tray that can be removed and screwed back in. This is your engine mount. So it comes with a couple different options for gas or electric, but this is one of our options for the engine mounts. We have another one here. It's just a different type of engine mounting plate. Like I said, it's going to depend on which type of engines you're using on this. That's what that is. That's another option. This is set up for gas or electric. This is your CG hanging points. If you've ever done a Black Horse model, these come with it, and this slides into the wings, and you pick it up from some strings, and it tells you how to CG the airplane using this. Because they're so large, they're hard to do it with your fingertips. So this is a CGing cord to pick it up from the spar. You have a lot of your little ball links, clevises. This is your motor standoffs, miscellaneous hardware. I'm not going to open this bag right now just because I don't want to lose it before I put the airplane together, but this is all of the hardware for the airplane right there in this bag. Battery straps. They really think out everything inside of this from Black Horse to where you don't have to go hunting for parts. And then this is your gas tank if you decide to go gasoline powered. There is your gas tank, and it's got the fuel fillers and all the little pieces that go to that gas tank inside of it. All right, now we've got another little box that was inside of here. Well, let's find out what's inside here. All right, this is going to be all of our retract equipment. This airplane does come with the main retracts. Big, beefy retracts. Look at those things. Woo. They are electric. This is not an air-driven retract. These are electric. Just really big and beefy. They are suspension. I don't know if I'll be able to move them. Let me see if I can get this one out of the package real quick. We can get a better look at that. So there's our retracts. They are twist and turn, as this is a Corsair. They are suspension. Now, it's made for a big old heavy airplane, so they are tough to push, but you can see as they do go up and down. All very nice machined aluminum. Beautiful retracts on this airplane right out of the box. You get your tires and another retract unit, and I believe this might be our actual sequencer. That it is. Just like in some of our other Black Horse models, this is your gear sequencer. You plug all your gear right into this, and then you have a separate onboard battery just for this to run your retracts. Looks like it actually comes with a XT20 connector to where you can hook up your battery into that also. The instructions for that. All right, on to the next box. It's like Christmas all to itself when you're unboxing this Corsair with all these boxes. So I believe this is going to be our cowling, this one, and it is. Careful as to not drop it. This is our fiberglass cowl. and our dummy motor. This is not mounted in there, so I'm going to try not to drop it, but yeah, that's our cowling and our dummy motor. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Oh baby. Here's another box. Let's see what's in door number 2 here. All right. This is going to be all our plastic accessories from the look of it. So we'll start off with the pilot. We're going to go on and open him up, give you a look at him. There is the yoke. And our pilot. I've seen several of these in our Black Horse models. They all are made the same way. Now, of course, if you want to put a bigger, better pilot in it, you are more than welcome to it, but the one that comes with it does look pretty good. I'm kind of thinking maybe G.I. Joe's going to go in there. He's up there with the elf on the shelf, but yeah, let me see if I can slide him in there real quick. Oh, look at that. He looks good in there. Onward. We have our inner gear wheel wells. You do have a left and a right. Looks like they are labeled on the inside of them, left and right. And then all of our little parts and pieces to finish off the airplane. So these are the scoops that go on the front of the wing. It looks like these are possibly the ones that go on the front of the landing gear. Not 100% sure, as I'm not looking at the manual right now as we're unboxing it. These are going to be for your outer wing panels. This is the lights. You can install lights into these. That's why they come not mounted to the airplane right out of the box, but this cuts in half, and these go out on the outer wing panels for the lights. Nope, here's the ones for the doors. These are the ones for the landing gear right here. And these might be the pieces that go up inside of that then. But anyway, there's your hinged pieces for the landing gear. You've got some antennas, some covers for something. Not sure what this one is. It's kind of heavy. Oh, this is the tail wheel doors, I bet you. I believe that's what this one's going to be. Yep, this is the tail wheel doors, because this does have working. Yeah, so this box is all your peripheral pieces to finish detailing your model. All right, so the last box here left to get unboxed. I believe this is going to be our tail wheel. And it is. This is the tail wheel retract assembly. Now, the tail wheel in this airplane is very impressive. You know, it takes a lot to make a tail wheel go up and down. You wouldn't think it, but on a 25 to 30 pound airplane, let me get cut into this. All right, so I believe this is the same tail wheel that is used in the P-47. Off the top of my head, it looks similar, but there's a tail hook which wasn't on the P-47. This looks like it's going to come down with it somehow. Not 100% sure, as I haven't been able to look at the manual just yet, but yes, so this is your mechanical tail wheel. I can't put it up and down right now because I don't have power to it. Here's all your pull wiring for the tail wheel right there inside of it. This is a shock absorbing tail wheel. I'm going to see if I can make it absorb here. There you go. So you can see that is actually a shock absorbing tail wheel system. This would pivot down and set like this when it's in the down position. And then whenever it goes up, this whole thing rotates on this pivot and brings it up inside the airplane. But yeah, I mean, it's very impressive when you see it. The quality of this landing gear and the spring driven stuff, all the components inside of it. Very impressive how they did this. All right, so let's kick it back over to myself live in the studio. Hey guys, so there it is, the unboxing of the Black Horse Corsair. So I've gone on ahead and slid it all together for you so you can actually get a size of the airplane here. And yeah, it is massive. So Let me see if I can slide it around a little bit for you without bonking it into everything. But as you can see, it is a huge airplane, and the scale detail on it is beautiful. It's got all the panel lines and everything done on the model for you. Rivet detail, cockpit, it's absolutely beautiful. So if y'all have any questions about the Corsair before we get too far here, I got Lori standing over there watching the live chat, and she's going to let me know if y'all have any questions about the airplane, if you want to see something more close up. Now, I haven't put the wheels in or anything like that yet. I tried to show as much as I could during that video of those components. What you got?
What size electric motor if you were putting electric in it?
What size electric motor? We have it over on the website under the recommended parts list, but I believe it's the same as the Zero and the P47. I believe it's the GP60 from Admiral. We'll double check that real quick and get back to you. And speaking of engines, I've got mine set in here. So we're going to be using the Admiral 60cc gas motor on this one. Let me pull it out of the box real quick and take a peek at it. And unfortunately my muffler hasn't come in yet. It should be here today, but there's the motor I'm going to be running on it. This is the Admiral 60cc. It's got the electronic ignition and everything right there in the box with it. So if y'all have any questions about this, want any shots of it, this is our Admiral gas motor. Available here at Motion RC, and I'm going to be running it with high-tech servos. I've got the HS645 MG Ultra Torque high-tech servos to go all the way around the airplane. Metal gear, all the good stuff, as you should too if you decide to do one this large.
Is there a separate tail steering servo integrated into the retract mechanism?
No. So the servo for the tail wheel, so the question was, is there a servo in the tail wheel? And the answer is no. This is set up just like the P47 was. So it's going to come back up here to the rudder servo with a pull-pull mechanism that comes back into the tail and actually pulls the tail mechanism. I don't have it in here right now, or I would try and show you that. But it's set up just like the P47, where it uses the same servo for the rudder to turn that. Okay?
Where do the wings disassemble for transportation?
Okay, how do the wings come off for transportation? So I have this just slid on here. I'm going to take it off so I don't end up knocking it off moving around the airplane. But they actually slide out of the side of the fuselage, which we can probably do carefully. So you pop your top hatch off. I don't have a good way to pick this up right now because it's so big.
Do you need some help just to make sure it doesn't...
Just hang on a second, I can probably pick the airplane up. If you'll get behind the camera, Miss Lori. I'm going to just pick the airplane up. I'm going to pop all the loose stuff off so I don't end up dropping nothing. But I wanted y'all to get a look of it all put together here. Let's see here. I can probably do this now. Okay. If you can zoom in right over here, Lori.
Focus.
Focus. It's also very dark in here because it's all black. But right here, you can see there's two Allen head bolts. I think you still got it out of focus. But there's two Allen screws right here that actually hold the wings in. And there's a piece of metal in there that goes around them and then it screws down. It's the same way on the P47 and the Zero. If you've done a Black Horse model, this is the way they're held in there. Okay, I'm going to set it down. And you just loosen those two off. And then if you can see right here, the wing actually keys into the fuselage. I don't have it in all the way right now, but if you can zoom right in here, they're slotted in right into here. So these two halves come off as individual halves. So you can see that right there. is where it's keyed into the fuselage. All right, I'm gonna leave it all apart now. I had that just for the reveal there, but as there's more questions about it, if I need to take it apart more and more, I can. It does have Dubrow style hinges. Let me slide the rudder off. I just had it stuck in there. They are pre-drilled and slotted for you right out of the box. But let's see here. If I can pop this one back out. Lori, if you want to zoom in on this real quick. These are the hinges that the airplane uses. These are going to glue in with, I'd probably tell you to do 30-minute epoxy so you can get it all set up correctly. But there's the hinge. And these are all pre-drilled and slotted for you on all the control surfaces to where this pushes in, and then that's your pivot point right there on that. If you've never done one of these larger planes, this is how a lot of them are set up. Yeah, so those just key in, taking it all apart again. All right, see if we've got any other questions over there. Lori's having to run back and forth right now. And to address the elephant in the room, well, we'll talk about the Eurofighter here in a little bit. Yes, it is officially coming. Yes, you can officially order it right now. It's on Motion RC for pre-order, and we are expecting them hopefully February, but it could be as late as, what was it, March? No. Hang on, I gotta double check. I don't want to misspeak on this. Hang on. Because I don't want to misspeak. So, Eurofighter. Early as mid-February, but could be as late as mid-March. There we go. I just want to make sure I put that in there. They're currently into production, and then they'll be hitting the water on our way to us, so hopefully that shows up soon. Were there any other questions about the Corsair before we go on to the Eurofighter, though? Guns. I didn't see them when I was unpackaging. Now, I haven't opened the actual accessory pack yet that comes with like all the parts and pieces, just because I don't want to lose them before we get to building on this. Now, I can tell you that making guns for one of these airplanes is never that hard. You just drill 3 holes in the leading edge of the wing and slide in your pipettes that you're going to use for it. But I did not see guns out of the box, but actually, yes, they're here. I went to look for them. So they're not cut out just yet, but the guns are in the wings. There's one right there. There's one right there, and there's one right there. So there are 3 guns out here on the wings. They're just not cut out yet, to answer that question. Any other ones? I don't know where they are in all the components that are in the baggies yet to pull them out and show them to you, but I'm sure we will get more and more content on this as the week goes on. I plan on keeping everybody up to date. If you haven't followed us over on Instagram, I've tried to be a lot more active on there lately. So if you are interested in this, I'm probably going to be posting quite a bit of content on Instagram of this as it goes along in the build process. I plan to have this hopefully done by the end of the month. We build these pretty fast between me and Papa. So, and Papa's drooling at the mouth. Let's see here, Lori. Keep your question in hand and come over here and zoom in right here. Imagine this airplane covered in Papa dots. Papa's already had to do a little test spot here of his silver Papa dots. But could you imagine this airplane covered in silver rivets? Whoo, man, it would look good. And all he's doing, I don't know if it comes across on camera, but there's already rivets on the airplane that are black.
Let's see if I can.
And all he did was put a silver dot in the middle of the already existing black dots. And woo, that's going to pop really nice. So he's drilling to do that. We're going to leave it stock for right now until we get our first flight on it, of course, and get the media content. Because we want to show them how they come right out of the box, of course. But anybody that knows us, we can't keep our hands off of dirtying them and weathering them. So that'll be a fun episode. I'm sure that's something we can do here on the channel, showing you guys some weathering, extra details that you can do to your model. But yeah, it's very, very cool airplane. Super excited about this one. I've been drooling over it for almost a year since it hit the website. So very cool airplane. Glad to have it here on the bench. Any other questions on this model?
Someone was asking how much it weighs before motors or engines.
Ooh.
I don't know how to answer that one really.
Not sure we have that specification available right now. I might be able to throw it on a scale with some of the parts and pieces. It's hard for me to weigh it without any electronics in it, because when I build it, I'm going to build it per the manual, and you put the electronics on it as you go. I'm going to say the box probably weighed 20 pounds, maybe, when it came in. But it's a rough guess on that. I don't know that we have that exact specification empty. Any other questions?
Wing vents.
What's that?
They were asking about the guns and the wing vents.
Oh,
Separate
okay.
Pieces you install later, maybe.
Yes. Okay. So the guys that are asking about the guns and the wing vents. So if you've never done an ARF before, when they cover them at the factory, they cover straight over all the holes right here. So right in here, hey Lori, can we get some zoomy?
Zoom it.
Zoom it right in here. So this is your air inlets right here. Now I'm going to try and push on it so you can actually see this. Can you come in any closer? Yeah, so do you see how this is hollow behind the covering? So what you have to do is cut the covering right here and then roll it around on the inside, and then you put your plastic details inside of this. So there are air scoops that go in the wings on the gull right in here, and you can just feel it with your hand. So what we normally do is just you take and poke that with your X-Acto knife to open up this little hole, and then you wrap your covering around inside of it, and then you slide your plastic bits inside of it. And then over here on the wing, there is actually, see if you can come over to my finger. So if I can push on it, you might be able to see it. There's actually 3 gun ports right here under the covering too. You can feel them. When you have it in front of you, you can really feel this. There's noticeably nothing behind it, but there's 3 gun ports out here to cut out also. And I just haven't done them yet because we haven't started our build process. But yes, there are guns and there are the scoops. So you can come back out. And I'm going to try not to throw this in the floor. This is a big airplane to maneuver around in the shop. All right, any other questions on the Corsair?
Yeah,
So
just a second.
we're keeping on monitoring it, but Lori's having to run back and forth right now.
I'm trying to make sure the camera doesn't decide to shoot the ceiling. Alright.
Yeah, very cool.
What is the tip, start over. What is the length from tip to tail?
I think it's on the box right here. I don't have it off the top of my head. I believe it's 83-inch wingspan, and then the
70.8 is what the website says.
there you go, 70.8. I tell you what, give me a. You're sitting on a tape measure right there,
Am I?
right in the top drawer. It should be. Whew. We'll do it for you live.
With the motor, it'd be 70.
Yeah. So about 70 inches. You know, we don't have the motor and everything on it, but about 70 inches.
Hang on to that because there's a second part to that question. Gotta get back to it. Lost it. Oh, there it is. And what is the width of the horizontal stabilizer? It's more transport questions for someone who's looking.
Width of the horizontal stabilizer is 36 inches.
Does this come with prop and hub, or do you have to source it separately, and does Motion carry the props?
It does not come with a prop or a hub. We do carry propellers. It's a 2-bladed propeller to fit the 60cc. If you're wanting to go with more of a scale prop, we do not have a 3-bladed scale prop. I know Falcon has one that's this size. I've looked at. On the P-47, I actually ended up going on eBay and I found a 4-bladed prop for the P-47 that worked out perfectly. But as far as I know, we don't have one for this large of an airplane at the moment. Not to say it couldn't change, but at the moment, I don't believe we have a 3-bladed giant prop for this airplane. I think it's just our standard APC that's the correct size for this. Okay, any other ones?
More of a funny is, Wes, I've been looking at this for almost 30 minutes now, and I don't think your first flight's going to be today with all that talking.
No, I don't think the first flight's going to be today on the Corsair. It'll probably take, normally when I set off to put one of these together, I work on them in the evenings. After we filmed the videos for the day, I normally come back out here at night and work on these. And I can usually put together one of these Black Horse planes or an Exaplane, something like that, with me and Dad working on it together. If we really are trying, we can get it done in about a week, but it normally takes me about 2 weeks to put one of these together and get it ready to go out. But I also am going to be filming a video with the 60cc. We had filmed some stuff previously with the 9 on the Hellcat, and it was kind of when we first got started here. We've learned so much that I know that we could make a better quality video about how to do break-ins and you know, gas motor in general tips and tricks that I know we want to reshoot those. So I believe that's going to slow us down a little bit on getting this one maidens in. But I definitely want to do that content. I know a lot of you guys have asked for it, and I know it would be really good for a lot of our community. So we're going to take the time to film some break-ins and first start setup for this gas engine on this airplane. So that's what we're going to be doing with this one. So yeah, really cool. Any other questions coming from everybody right now? Retracts. We showed them in the unboxing. They are aluminum. If you just want to go around here, the box is sitting right there. We'll grab one for you real quick. We can go over it. They are twist and turn. They are full aluminum. They're electric retracts, not air retracts. And they do come with the kit. They are included in the price when you order this airplane online. So that's really nice. You get the retractable tail wheel. You get the retracts for the mains. Here comes Lori right here. She brought them both for me, so yeah, it's great. If you want to jump behind the camera for a second, we can go over them one more time, although we went through them at the beginning, just really quickly. But so this is the tail wheel, and as you can see, it's in its up position. I don't have a way to actuate it right now because it's not hooked up to power, but your actuator is under here, and then you have the suspension tail wheel. Can you see that going up and down? So this actually has a little shock absorber up there in the top, and then you have your pull hookups right here that are going to go up into the fuselage to your rudder servo, and that's what actually gives you your steering. The P47, like I said, and the Zero are both set up the same way, and I haven't had an issue out of either one of those tail wheels. That they've been running very flawlessly for us. So it has a little spring on here to help it return back to center, as you can see. And then, like I said, you'll have the wires coming back to actually pull it. But this is a retractable unit. It goes up, and then there's two doors that close around the tail wheel in the back. Now, as far as the main wings go, here are your retract units for the wings. These are twist and turn, like I said, and they do come with it. We do have replacements available here if you ever have an issue with them. You're going to have to hit these pretty hard, though. These are beefy, and they are suspension. So there's the suspension going up and down. But yeah, there's the aluminum retracts that come with your airplane. And they do also have a gear sequencer that comes in the box, which we showed earlier. I'm not going to try and get it back out again, but you plug all your gear and everything into the sequencer, and then you have an onboard battery to where you can actually, and this has been something that's really been nice to me after living with the airplanes for years. So when I get out to the field, I always transport mine with the gear up because they fit in the car so much easier. And then you get to the field and you plug everything in, but the nice thing is you don't have to get your radio out. There's actually a button on the top of the retract unit that says test, and if you hit that, all the retracts come down, and you can just set it down on the ground then after you put it together without ever having to even turn on your radio, which doesn't sound like something that would be really handy, but man, when you get done with a day of flying, you want to put your airplane up, you set it up on the table, and you've already packed your radio, because that happens to me all the time, and I'm like, oh, I've already packed it. Oh no, I just hit the button and retracts go up. So it's a great little feature on there. All right, did we miss any other questions?
Catching up.
Or I hope I answered your questions about the retracts there. Not sure if a Saito is going to fit in here. I don't have one to test. More than likely. You might also go over on Hobby Squawk. There's an actual forum page for this airplane with actual customers that have put different engines on it. Somebody may have already mounted the engine that you're wanting to put on here into it. So Hobby Squawk is a great place to ask those kind of questions about different motors that might fit on this. Because I know there's been a lot of customers get this airplane that have put Saitos and you know, Moki and all the different motor manufacturers. There's guys on there that have them, can measure them, make sure it's going to fit on the airplane. So that might be a good place to start. As we don't carry those brands right now, it's hard for me to answer whether it's going to fit in there without having it physically. If it is a question that you needed more answers to, also on Facebook or Instagram, wherever you want, you could always send a private message to Motion RC on any of those, and you'll get a hold of me instantly. I always try and answer them as fast as I can, and I can send you measurements of the cowling, and that would be something I would be willing to do for any of you guys. If it's just something simple like that, you know, I don't do the customer service portion of that. We have lots of great employees behind the customer service, but if it's something as easy as measuring the cowling for you, that's super easy. So shoot me a message in there if you need some more dimensions of this if you're trying to put one together. Okay?
Is that mold injected plastic on the tail wheel?
It is plastic. I believe it is mold injected, correct? This is not aluminum if that's what you're trying to figure out. It is a plastic tail wheel. But I kind of like it being plastic as it has a little bit more flex and springiness to it. If you ever have a metal version of this and you hit it hard, they bend and they don't spring back. Whereas this will bend, if you can see this. Excuse me, but see how this plastic can move around and bend? That's actually a good thing, especially if you ever did like basher trucks. Something that takes a lot of hits like this does. See how that plastic can move around without breaking and bend and squeeze? It actually is kind of handy back there. So I'm okay with that not being aluminum on that. All the joints and everything are metal on it, but the actual parts are mold injected plastic, correct. Okay?
Are the internal formers and ribs carbon laden laminated?
Well, it's balsa. It's not, okay, so she said, are the internal formers all covered in the carbon fiber, basically? It is balsa, it's not plywood. Excuse me. And yes, the formers are, I'm trying to figure a good way to show you. Even inside of the wing, so when I had the wing halves off, you can look down the inside of the wing and it's actually built the same as all of this. And you can see it here. Let's see. Dogs outside. If you can see this.
Let me see if I can zoom it.
The whole airplane is actually built like this. Even in the inside of the wings. Just come on in with it. You don't got to move it up and down.
I got to move it up and down.
Could have held it in the right place. But you can see there's actually this weave that's mounted to all of, it's laid in there and then glued right onto it. But you can see there's this carbon weave that's all through the inside of the airplane. And then your formers, let's see, trying to get it to where you can see this black thing. But all the formers are sandwiched in between the pieces of this. So if you can see, there is a balsa one right there. But these are also balsa, but they've been wrapped in that carbon fiber. Oh my gosh, the dog's being silly. Can you go get the dog real quick?
Yeah, give me just a second.
Anyway, he's out outside the door right now like, hey, let me in.
I gotta be inside.
I gotta be inside. But yeah, let me see here. Trying to see if there's any other questions. Here, I'll pop out my phone while she's checking that.
Didn't see a prop. Is it in the bag?
Didn't see a proper hub. Is it in the bag? No, there is no proper hub. Right, because as I said, this is a gas or electric airplane, and you have a different prop for each of them. We do have stuff that is available though. Carbon laminated, yes it was. Anyway, I think that kind of wraps up the Corsair anywhere for now. If y'all have any other questions, like I said, reach out to me, Hobby Squad, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you want. As I'm putting this together, I never mind answering questions. You can PM, Motion RC, all of us. It's me, Lori, James. We all watch those when y'all send the messages, when we try and answer them as best as we can. You know, everybody always asks us what's next. I can't answer that. I never can. But this week, there is something new. So I guess for now, Lori, let's pop that up on the screen and talk about it for just a minute. Excuse me, guys. Throat was dry. I had a water around here somewhere. So yes, the Eurofighter Typhoon has officially been leaked and then announced. So I don't have it here in front of me right at the moment. My product sample is supposed to be here anytime now, hopefully today. And as soon as it gets here, we're going to get our unboxing and all of our media content done that you've come to love and enjoy here at Motion RC. But yeah, it is an awesome looking airplane. This is a totally new design. It is not a version 2 or a version 3 of the Eurofighter. This is a completely new mold. Now our customers have been asking constantly for this as I watch all the chats now. It is definitely a brand new mold and everything on it is new. It is a 90 millimeter. This is going to have our brand new 90 millimeter fan in it right out of the factory. And I'm going to pull up some of the specifications here for you guys. Like I said, still learning them all off the top of my head too. But yes, it is all new molds. It's one of the first ones I've ever seen where the gear are coming painted right out of the box. So right now, currently, the pre-order is open on the website. If you order one right now, we are expecting them mid-February, but it could be as late as March. But we are trying to get these out as fast as possible. This one has more scale details on it. As you can see, it's got the actual probes and everything up on the front of it. We've got a scale air brake, which is cool. The old one did not have an air brake. We've got that. We've got the holes in the top of the airplane that she's showing you. All the features that were kind of missing out of those older ones that you've come to really enjoy from Freewing, they're in the new model now. So as you can see, full ordnance, very cool. So it's available in 6S or 8S, and we're also going to have an ARF Plus version. These are also going to be our first large airplane that's going to come with the thrust reversing ESC. Anybody that's checked out some of our latest 64 millimeter releases like the F-16 or the Banshee, you've seen how we have that reversing function for our ESCs. Well, now the 90 millimeter Typhoon is going to have that also. Anyway, that's kind of all the information I have for you right at the moment on the Typhoon. Like I said, my product sample is supposed to be here hopefully today, maybe at the beginning of next week. It is Christmas right now, so shipping is kind of what it is. But as soon as I get it, I will be putting out tons of content on it through Instagram, Facebook, all that. The things that you want to see, unboxing, assemblies, the whole 9 yards. So we've got one coming here to the shop at Motion RC Souther. And as soon as I get one here in front of me, I will be glad to answer all your questions. I want to get it out and fly it off grass. I want to get it out and fly it off the pavement, the geotechs. We're going to fly this thing everywhere we can and answer all your questions about it we can. Yes, ma'am. See, there was a question.
Do you know if the ESC is a 120 or 150 for the 8S?
I don't off the top of my head. I know the 6S one is a 120. Is it on the website? I don't know yet. I'll find out. I just don't know off the top of my head what the ESC is on it for the 8S version. Well, we can find out. So, any other questions or concerns about it? I hope you guys are excited. I mean, I know I've been seeing a ton of comments like, when's the next 90? When's the next 90? And it's finally here. Y'all are getting your new 90 millimeter Eurofighter. I mean, I've seen people just clamoring for this airplane to come back. So, super excited to see it come back.
It says it's a 120 on the 8S.
I might want to confirm that. I'm going to check with everybody on that one.
Yeah, we'll double check that. And get on that.
Anyway, all right. Well, I think that's it for this Friday. I had a lot of fun with this. Lori said there's one more question. Okay.
It's about the F-4U. Is it possible to get an ARC version?
ARC. I don't know what ARC stands for. Almost ready. Oh, almost ready to cover is probably what he's talking about. I haven't seen an almost ready to cover here in forever. No, it only comes just like it is in the ARF version. Now, if you were to peel it, you could. This is completely sheeted. The entire airframe is sheeted in a light balsa. So I was just going to let you know what I've always wanted to do on this is a great airplane to strip and then do a light fiberglass and paint over the entire fiberglass, which I've always liked the way that looks when you get a fiberglass plane. But this would be a great candidate to do that to. Literally just peel all the covering off and then you could do it. And I've talked about doing that with Papa, but I don't know how much I want to put into it. Because, man, they sure are pretty how they come right out of the box. They're perfect. I mean, there's not a ding or a scratch nowhere on it. And it's, the other two that I've had have really held up well. And I can pull them out at some point and y'all can look at those up close just to prove it to you. But I've been taking the other two Black Horses I have to shows all over the place. And taking them to shows is kind of hard on airplanes. We leave them out in the sun all day. You know, everybody comes up and wants to pick them up and stuff, and they've been really holding up very well. I've been very surprised how great this covering actually has stood the test of time. So, anyway, but no, there is not an almost ready to cover version of this. It only comes covered. All right? We got them all answered?
Thus far, I don't
Cool.
see any more questions.
Well, all right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, there's going to be another show coming up soon. Once I get the Eurofighter here, I'm sure we'll come up live and talk more about it once I've had hands-on with it and had a little bit of time to play with it and get my feel around the airplane. But I hope everybody's as excited as we are here at Motion RC about the Eurofighter. Nice big 90mm EDF coming, and I can't wait to see everybody getting them. I've been watching on the Facebook community, everybody posting this morning that their fingers slipped and ordered some airplanes, so it's been fun. And then I always have the website going over in the corner room, and you can just see it every time somebody orders one. I always love that on our website, that you can see when somebody orders something, and there's been a bunch of them going. So anyway, that's going to do it for this live show. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I hope y'all have a very good Christmas next week, and we're going to let y'all go. So without further ado, this will do it for Motion RC Live. We'll see y'all next week. Maybe. It's Christmas Day. Maybe not next week. I just thought of that.
We'll see you soon.
Soon.